Welcome back, it's me Lou, and I'm here with another action figure unboxing and review, and today we're going to feature a trio of action figures. And we are looking at these. These are budget Star Wars figures. If you shop Walmart regularly and you're at the checkout line, these are always kind of placed near like the candy and the impulse items like lighters and USB battery banks and I don't know, all sorts of wild and crazy stuff. And chances are you've probably seen these. These are those budget Star Wars figures. They're like under $5. I think they're like $4.98 or something. And there's even some Marvel superhero ones. You've probably seen a Captain America, Spider-Man, the Hulk, Iron Man. And you'll always find these are kind of placed near those weird little tiny Super Mario Brother figures or those like My Little Ponies or those miniature Barbies. And I love these figures. They're cheap, they're affordable. And I don't know, they're cool. So yeah, we have three of them here. We have the First Order Stormtrooper. We have Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. And we have Darth Vader. Alright, so these are these are as basic as you can come by in terms of Star Wars action figures. They're larger than the 3 3/4 figures. But at the same time, they're much smaller than the Star Wars Black series. I want to say these action figures probably fall between, I don't know, 5 inches to maybe 5.5. And let's take a look at them. First off, let's start with the First Order Stormtrooper. And it's a nice package. It's nice and white. You get the character artwork here, so you know what you're getting. There's a nice window here that kind of frames the character. These packages are funny because they're almost like small little coffins. I mean, these little tiny boxes. Alright, and we have a brief description here of the character. The First Order Stormtrooper. Equipped with sleek armor and powerful weapons, the Stormtroopers enforce the will of the First Order. And you get it in all sorts of different languages. I don't know. Alright, so these figures, I gotta remind you, so if you're a serious collector, you're probably never going to touch these like with a 10-foot pole. These are budget figures. They're not meant to like compete or replace like Star Wars Black Series. These are made for parents who want to buy their child an affordable Star Wars toy without going over $10. They're larger than the 3 3/4 figures. They're cheaper than the 3 3/4 figures. They have very limited articulation. Their paint application, it's, you know, they could be painted okay, or even in this case, this one looks kind of sloppy. But it's a fun action figure. It's a fun toy. You know, this is a toy. It's not a collectible. And if you like just buying toys in general, or you want something for your desk at work, or something to fiddle around with, or something to like glue onto your dashboard, this is the guy you want to look at. And let's pop this one up. First Order Stormtrooper. And I want to say, this is not the first release of this figure. I think this figure has seen multiple releases already. It's just an updated package. And the only thing you get in the box is like this little, you know, this paper. You get this in everything that Hasbro puts out. It's the address, the warnings, and all sorts of, I don't know, legalese kind of stuff. But here's the main event. The First Order Stormtrooper. Alright, so I noticed this in the box. The paint job on the helmet, on the body he's okay. His body's painted fine, but on his helmet, it's kind of marred a little in certain spots. Unfortunately, this guy's all white, so he might be kind of hard to see because the light coming off of him is kind of like making him look a little oversaturated. But the sculpting is nice, it's crisp. All the details for the Stormtrooper are kind of there. Articulation's extremely limited. This guy, all his head moves, it's on a ball joint, rotates. So it kind of like could look a little bit up and down. His arms just kind of rotate like this. There's no further articulation. You're not going to get any elbows or bicep swivels, or his wrists don't move. His blaster is molded into his hand, and it's a soft plastic, so if you drop it, it's not going to snap off. He has waist articulation, and his legs don't move. So if you're a collector and you just you need a display piece, not necessarily something to go into your Black Series collection, but just something to put on your desk next to your computer or something at work, this is the kind of toy you want. It's very, very basic. He has sockets in his feet, so if you have an action figure stand that'll fit this, you're good to go. But it's nice hard plastic. His limbs are a little bit bendy, and it is what it is. It's a First Order Stormtrooper. If you bought a bunch of these, I think it looks super, super cool. Just have them standing there. Even if I think it's not that it's a great alternative or a substitute for a Black Series figure, but for example, let's say you had a Black Series collection and you had a bunch of Stormtroopers, and you just kind of wanted to fill it out more so it looked like your army was bigger. This wouldn't be a bad idea to get because it's cheap, and you could put this guy towards the back of your shelf and get multiples of them, just so it looks like you have a bunch of Stormtroopers on display. But in no way would I consider this replacing a Black Series figure. It's just a good background character, is what I'm trying to say. So if you have a diorama and you just need background characters, not a character you're going to focus on, or something that you kind of just want to blend in the background, but you want a cheap alternative, you could buy a bunch of these for under $5 and just place them in the background, and it saves you $15 or more buying like a legit Black Series figure, if that makes any sense. I don't know, I'm like rambling. I'm sorry, it's like hot in where I'm recording this, and I think I'm like dehydrated. I haven't drinking water all day. So if I pass out, bonus. Here's Luke Skywalker. This is Return of the Jedi Luke. It's odd because the artwork here has him with the Jedi vest over the costume, whereas here it's just how he looks in the final act of the film, where he's taking on Darth Vader in the Death Star. For his description, convinced he can turn his father away from the dark side of the Force, Luke Skywalker surrenders to Darth Vader and is brought before the Emperor. And let's get this guy out. Now this figure is a re-release also. Oh, while I'm at it, let me pull out the first release. So I believe this is the first release of the figure. I didn't pay $6.99 for it. I think that was a Walgreens price tag. I bought this secondhand some years ago, but I didn't pay $4.99. I think I only bought like for $3 or $4. And you can tell this is a budget figure because it's packaged in an open air case. And when I say open air, it's not enclosed. There's no window. You can actually feel the toy and fiddle around with it. And on the back, you can see the Darth Vader, which is this one. There's Han Solo, and they re-released the Han Solo also in this modern package. I didn't get it though because I already have Solo like twice over. And there's Kanan Jarrus, which is kind of odd that they would make a Star Wars Rebels character, because I don't think they made I believe they didn't make any of the other figures from that cartoon in this line of toys. But we have the Luke. These are identical. It almost looks like I was about to say it looks like this one has a sharper sculpt and mold, because maybe over time, since they've reused this mold over and over again, maybe there's some degradation and whatever it's outputting is not as sharp as the original. And here's Luke Skywalker. Get his lightsaber blade. And let's get him out of here. I know I could probably just cut this with scissors, but I don't have any scissors on me right now. Alright. So, I love this figure a lot. I don't know, there's something about this line of action figures is that I'm not even sure if you could call them action figures because the action's very, 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 very minimal. Just like the Stormtrooper, very limited articulation. His arms rotate. He has a waist swivel. His legs don't do anything. And his head could rotate, I think, but it feels kind of stuck. I don't want to mess around with it too much. So these are almost... I want to say these are more like figurines than action figures. And let's plug his blade into the hilt. Yeah, there we go. We have Luke Skywalker. It's a really nice sculpt. You know, for under $5, this is a great toy. And for me, it screams more display piece than a toy. And I don't know, the sculpting's nice. The paint application on this one is pretty decent, especially around the eyes. And he has a trigger finger here, so it looks like if you had an extra blaster from a Black Series figure, you could probably put it on here. But it's a good interpretation of Luke. Height-wise, they're not to scale. This guy's a little taller. The Stormtrooper here is a little bit shorter than Luke. But, man, this is a great Luke Skywalker. Like I said before, this is not going to replace a Black Series figure. This is a fun toy. You know, it's something that a parent will buy for their kids as they're checking out at Walgreens or Walmart, especially since it's in the impulse aisle. And for me, it's just toys like this. I say this all the time. They're great desk toys. Like if I'm at work, you know, I'm not gonna bring like a $20 toy and leave it on my desk because my coworkers are always gonna come by and fiddle around with them or something. And one of my buddies, he has this funny story. Like he has this RoboCop figure that he really likes. And he had it at his desk at work, and it was like a 12-inch RoboCop, and it had all the bells and whistles. He could like open up his leg tray, and he could holster his gun in there. His helmet came off and everything. And then one day, I guess someone was fiddling around with it, and he came into work, and it was like missing one of his accessories. So I mean, if you have toys at work, you know it's inevitable that people are gonna fiddle around with them. But something like this, you know, you're not gonna worry about this toy. You know, someone could drop it; it's not gonna break. You're not going to lose a gun because it's molded onto his hand. You know, this lightsaber plugs in pretty snug. It's not going to fall out. And this is a fun desk toy. You know, you can show your Star Wars pride with like a cheap $5 figure. Or if you want, you can even like glue this to your dashboard of your car and have Luke Skywalker travel with you everywhere on all of your crazy adventures. And let's bring out Luke's dad, Darth Vader. Darth Vader is a ruthless agent of the dark side, but Luke Skywalker believes a good man still lives beneath the Dark Lord's mask. And spoiler alert, he is right. Alright, I don't have this Darth Vader. I've never seen him at the stores. So this is a first for me, and I'm kind of hoping he's to scale, at least with Luke. I don't want him being shorter than Luke. Oh wow, this is different. Alright, so this guy actually has... So for Luke, his lightsaber hilt is molded into his hand and you attached a blade. Whereas with Darth Vader, his lightsaber is actually a separate accessory altogether. So the hilt and the blade are actually one piece. And my first thought when I was holding this, I'm like, this is like one of those toys people always say is like, you know, the shampoo bottle action figures where they don't really do anything. And this guy kind of fits into that, but the sculpting is beautiful. The paint application's alright. It's just missing some of the paint, you know, for the buttons on his belt. But the chest box is all fully painted. He has the red tinted eyes. I'm not sure if the camera's catching that. But the sculpting's nice. His head rotates. He has waist swivel. Cape is hard goods. It's plastic. I like that. And it looks awesome. It looks awesome. I can't emphasize that enough. But now here for me is a true test. Now, normally I'm not a stickler on scale, but I do believe if I'm going to have a Luke Skywalker figure next to a Darth Vader, the Darth Vader should at least be a little bit taller. I mean, he should tower over Luke Skywalker, but this is a budget toy. It's $5, under $5, and I just got to see if I can stand these guys next to each other. And lo and behold, Darth Vader is taller than Luke Skywalker by a smidge, just by a little bit, which works for me. I don't believe they should see each other eye to eye, but he's a little bit taller, which is okay, as long as he wasn't shorter than Luke. And this is awesome, awesome. And yeah, he's missing some paint application. Vader has kind of that like gunmetal on his chest and shoulder armor. It's not all black like this, but it's a decent sculpt. It's awesome. For like $5, these figures are a win for me. As I mentioned before, if you have a giant collection of Star Wars Black Series, or if you like setting up dioramas, and if you know, let's say you have a First Order diorama and you have some First Order Stormtroopers in the foreground, but you want to get more to fill out the scene, you know, buy a bunch of these cheap $5 ones and just push them towards the back. And even though they're smaller, it'll make sense because they're further in the background, but at the same time, they're cheap and you can fill out more space with these guys. So they're a cool army builder if you know their limitations. This is a great display piece, and when you have it next to Vader, it's, you know, it's like bookends. You know, you have one bookend, you have another bookend, and it's awesome. The sculpting on both these figures is great for $5. Yeah, so the next time you see these out at Walmart or Walgreens in the checkout line, you know, don't pass them up. You know, they're worth $5 or less, and you know, I really think you'll be happy if you got them. You know, like I said, these aren't premium collectibles. These are just toys. They're meant for parents and little kids. But I think if you're an adult who has an appreciation for just simple toys, and if you grew up on the like action figures with very limited articulation, I think you'll have a soft spot for these. So I highly recommend these. They're affordable, they're fun, and it's Star Wars. And they're not hard to find. You know, just go to your Walmart, you know, as you're checking out, and you have an impulse to buy like headphones or a new lighter or like a USB battery bank. You know, look one shelf below and you'll see these guys and pick them up. So let's wrap this up. Once again, my name is Lou. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I greatly appreciate it. Go out and buy yourself some fun, affordable budget toys, especially these three. And I will talk to you later. Take care.